said something. Tell your homie better chill. He don't ride how we ride for our team, and that's for real. Oh, you said something. When they kick off, he gon' kneel. I don't wanna hear none if it ain't about the bills. We'll be running out the tunnel, better stay up on your heels. We might leave your ankles on the field, put you on the rail. How you feel? Feel the watch the sweep just like a broom. Hail Mary and put his GM in a tomb. Make some room, call it timeout, cause they not ready. Think they feeling all the pressure, cause they know I play it heavy. Try to cover one-on-one, my cuss gon' be too deadly. Have him watching all that film while he snuggling on his teddy. Man, who let me step up in the game with a mindset of making sure I'm heard? I'm pointed tenant, it ain't time yet. When it is, I bet you know, don't fix your legs to come around me. If you acting all scary,
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests, events with first market odds and odds now. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all sports information, from live in-game betting props and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now, use our promo code BLEAV50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now, BetOnline is where the game starts.
Bills Mafia, we are back. We got another great episode for you guys today. It is Believe in Bills podcast. I'm Justice General Radford. That's the coach. Legend in 2 games, no Pee-wee. Championship coach Muki Hawkins in the building. What's going on, Mook? How you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, happy, New Year and all that stuff. Holiday season is still going on. And hey, Bills play tomorrow, so I'm pretty good.
Absolutely. Happy holidays to you and to all of our beautiful fans as well. Like you said, Bills football tomorrow, something great to look forward to. And then I like Saturday games personally. Anytime there's like NFL football on like a Thursday, Monday, Saturday type, like I'm all for it because I like just watching the game be played. But of course, I would prefer to see my team out there on the field, which we will get to do tomorrow as they take on the New England Patriots. I don't know if they've ever really been our rival. They stomped us for a long time, and now we've been stomping them for a little while now. So, but they kind of suck right now. But they defense is decent. They haven't been blown out really. They've been playing tough ball since they benched Mac Jones, and they got Bailey Zappi coming in. And I don't know how much of a spark they're thinking to give them versus the Buffalo Bills, but the spread is currently, I think, 13.5. Let me ask you just straight up, outright, do the Bills cover the spread?
Yeah, tomorrow they cover the spread. About that time they cover the spread. This is. I mean, every week for the past 4 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever the case may be, has been a must-win game for this team. And they understood that, and they're having that approach right now. But when is it going to be that I must blow you out game, right? This has all the markings of it. It's not a team that this Bills is actually sleeping on because New England beat them this year. So it's nothing to sleep on this New England Patriots team, especially, coming off an upset in Denver. So, the Bills know that New England has that mindset, and they got to be ready, be ready for the challenge. I mean, Bill Belichick is over there still, one of the greatest coaches of all time in our era. So anything is possible. So I think, though, the Bills find a way to cover the spread.
I mean, you look at it, and this is, first of all, it's the New England Patriots, and the Bills have a tendency of this year specifically playing down to their competition, where it's like you play a bad team and they kind of meet you at your level, but then you play a great team and they either meet you at your level or run all over you, which kind of gives you the impression that they could run all over everybody given the opportunity. But that's not the same team that we see on the field every week. However, this is a division rival. We've seen Josh Allen and the Bills go out there and absolutely embarrass Patriots defenses that were better than this, right? However, the previous game this year, the Patriots beat us 29-25. So you look at it, And on one hand, you're like, well, this is an easy win for the Buffalo Bills. This is just doing your job on the way and hoping that you get some help and you might be competing for a division title next week. But then on the other hand, you're like, well, which Bills team are we going to see? Right now, I am also of the mindset that there was one iteration of the Buffalo Bills team, right? And now we're kind of seeing a completely new one under the offensive leadership of Joe Brady and giving this offense a little more aptitude. The Chargers game, they kind of slipped back into the Dorsey to me, where it was like not necessarily play calling that was the problem, but they just got real messy, right? Fumbles and just giving the ball away, too many times. And then the Chargers were able to capitalize on it for a couple of the turnovers. But the Bills were able to even go down and get it done, which I don't see as a bad thing either, because you're going to have to learn how to win one score games here deep in the season and in the playoffs. But as you mentioned, they have been in playoff mode now for about a month. And I mean, you look at it, they should have gotten a W over the Philadelphia Eagles, get one over the Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers, right? And now you're kind of in like the easy part of your schedule with the Chargers and the Patriots. The Chargers look like the one team between the Chiefs and the Cowboys that actually, had a chance versus you, right? So you kind of hope that the Bills are able to, get it set for, versus the Patriots and just kind of take care of business. So you look at them in the league, offense, 4th, defense, 9th, passing, 9th, rushing, 7th. So this is one of the best teams in the National Football League, just when you look at it from a statistical viewpoint. Pats do have a 7th ranked defense, however. Is that defense good enough to do the unthinkable and upset the Buffalo Bills tomorrow?
Well, whenever you have a top 10 defense, that is possible. That's possible no matter who you are. So a lot of people are failing to realize this year, more than any other season I see, you see a lot of teams that's not allowing that much, yards in the passing game this year. I'm telling you, it's about 10 defenses right now that hold offenses to under 200 yards, passing. I mean, so yeah, that definitely can happen. It depends on what type of day your quarterback is having, and especially if you're not a running team or an offense that don't have balance, then of course, it's easy to, scheme and game plan for that, especially if the quarterback's having a bad day. So, yeah, I think that, the Bills just got to keep doing what they've been doing. Make sure you have that balance, whether it's James Cook, Leonard Fournette, Ty Johnson, Latavius Murray. I want to see the setup plays off the run game. I think that some of the pros and cons with Brady is, okay, we see these plays, but what's the setup play off that play? Like every time you ran that play, running it with James Cook, let's just say, for instance, that trap play, Deion pulls, and what's the setup play off that play? You run that play so much that you couldn't do it against the Chargers, right? So you should have your setup play action, off of that. Yeah, what is the setup play off that play? Not just scrap that play, that formation or whatever, and go to another play. I want to start seeing the setup plays. What is your adjustment off a play that works multiple times, and then the defense gets, grasp of what you're doing there, and then you set that same play up with something else. Like, I want to see that out of Brady. I haven't seen that yet. I want to see that, because in areas where I think we should be seeing it, the Bills have struggled in that area, So, it's been better, but it hasn't been perfect as far as the offense goes. So that's what I want to see now. Now, where's those setup plays? Where's those big splashy plays? Where is Stephon Diggs? Like, you can't tell me, that now it's more than a concept problem when it was with Dorsey. It's more scheme now with Brady as far as getting Diggs involved in his offense. Like, you can't tell me that Puka Nacua, that CeeDee Lamb, that
Devontae Cooper Kupp as well,
Justin Jefferson.
They get fed.
Tell me those guys, they get played the same as Stephon Diggs get played. they get played the same way. I don't understand why you can't get Diggs open. Now, he has been clutch. They do go to him on third down, and he has been clutch. If those plays work when you need them, why not run them more meaningful in game instead of, some things? And I did see Josh still miss Steph on some things. So I think the whole overall totality of is just getting a feel for how Brady calls things and, where Josh does with his eyes. That's where it is as far as like making those proper reads and having the patience to, to work your progression thoroughly, So those are some of the things I guess I'll get the benefit of the doubt of, this Brady's offense and why Diggs isn't as involved, the past 4 weeks, rather than, just you want to point the finger. It's easy to point the finger at Diggs, right? But, you have to, get that going, especially heading into the playoffs. So, those are some of just the pros and cons out of Brady. But I think I see Diggs a lot in the slot. Like when it really mattered, I don't understand why they shouldn't put him in the slot a little bit more. If you put Diggs in the slot and Kincaid is at tight end,
give him that whole seam, the whole middle,
the seam, whatever, right? Like who are you doubling when it comes to occupying the middle? And then not to mention we have a run game now.
Yeah.
So play action off of that. You got Diggs and Kincaid playing around in the middle, one shallow, one deep.
Absolutely.
Then it don't matter who you got on the outside. You could Shakur, you could put Hardy, you could put Gabe. You can flex out Dawson Knox. So it's a lot of things you can do to be more creative. But this offense is better. But I definitely want to see more splashiness. I want to see splashiness. You can't tell me Joe Flacco just got off the damn couch and it's just bombs over Baghdad. And for real, like, they're making plays. Like, so you love to see Josh Allen with some of these other playbooks you see in the NFL as far as the creativity with the play calling and, how they're being used. I think the Bills have more weapons than a lot of teams, in the NFL. It's just not being exploited as it needs to. It's exploited enough to win, but it's not exploited enough to where it's just like dominant and like with these matchups, like, so hopefully, they get it done with the big splashy plays against New England, a divisional opponent. These next 2 games are for the division, so these are super duper must win games for the Bills. So again, they have to win out, and Miami have to lose out.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had to win out for a while now, and they've done their job thus far, right? Still got more work to do, and then as soon as the work ends, you got more work to do. So you're fighting for your life right now. You're fighting for an opportunity for a second chance or for a second life, second season, if you will, right? And just going back briefly to what you were talking about with the setup play, I mean, that's kind of the whole point, right? You know what I mean? Like you want to be able to get a rhythm, right? Because if the defense is reading your play and stopping it, it's because they've seen it on film, which means they're expecting it. So that's when the play action comes and you got somebody wide open because it's unaccounted for, or whatever the case may be. You look at the the brotherly shove, right? Everybody's expecting everybody's expecting Jalen Hurts to get pushed up into the air 5 yards forward, right? So now instead of that, you hand it off to the fullback and he's a counter and he's going 45 yards up the sideline. And, that's the couple variations you can have off of plays like that, especially when people believe that they know what's coming, right? Kind of just talking about, what you were talking about to the Joe Brady schematic effect. I think checkdowns have become a lot more prevalent in this offense, right? The checkdowns are more emphasized, and the reason why the checkdown is so valuable, I feel like, is because Josh has a history of being able to look, mid to deep, and be able to get the ball there and make defenses pay. So now if you check down too much, you kind of have the inverse effect. And I feel like we just need to find some balance there, but I think that they'll be able to get it done. And not only that, but Josh is the best in the league at making the second play happen to where even on a scramble drill, you still, getting some big yardage there.
They didn't even check it down last week. Like James Cook had no targets last week.
Yeah, James Cook didn't know.
I just didn't understand. I asked him, and he didn't have no understanding of it neither. Like, I'm just don't understand. How can a guy have this type of game for you? And the game was quite easy with the ball in his hands this way. I don't understand why you're not trying to get the ball in his hands more. Like,
I think last week was weird I don't think there was anybody that was just like, it kind of seemed like the whole team as a collective was just getting punched in the face at first, and it was like, oh, okay, we got to wake up and like make something happen. When you find yourself down 10-0 to the Los Angeles Chargers, who don't have a quarterback or a head coach.
Like,
no, I'm saying it seemed like the whole team got punched in the mouth, and they had to kind of adjust moving forward.
Well, because we did what they see on tape. We ran the same play, the pull play. They wouldn't allow us to do that play. We did. We gave James Cook a sweep one time. He got like 5-6 yards. You don't see the sweep no more. You don't see the stand up to James Cook on when he spread it out and empty. Match him up with a linebacker one-on-one. First down, you could just clear out and just throw the check down. Just swing it out to him. That's kind of like handing the ball off to a running back on first down. If he gets you 3 yards, that's great. That's what we're looking for, minimum. But anything after that is a bonus. 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6. You're still ahead of the 6 that way. So I just don't understand. You should be doing that. That's going to help your quarterback be more efficient. That's going to help your quarterback, work to the second level, because now you have a running back that these linebackers is going to have to account for. They're not going to be able to help safeties over the middle because, the running back is posing a threat. So you got to let James Cook pose as a threat, a little bit more this week than last week, because I don't see a linebacker on New England's team that can check him. And then I don't see Van Ginkel next week checking him if that's, a matchup, that we have to exploit, especially when it comes to passing the ball. So, who my X factor again is for this week.
All right, so that kind of goes in line with what I was about to ask you. Not quite an X factor, but when you look at the Buffalo Bills team, it's kind of like you never know what you're going to get, right? It's impossible to bet on the Bills offense because Gabe Davis can have 0 catches or he can have 7 catches for $150, right? Diggs can have 4 catches or he can have 8 catches for $130, right? So, like, you never know what's going to happen, right? So, just looking at the matchup, right? A great defense in the New England Patriots. Secondary is okay. It's pretty good. Linebackers are okay. So, you look at it, you got Dalton Kincaid, right? Diggs, Davis, Cook, Dawson, all these available options. So aside from Josh Allen or accompanied by Josh Allen, who is more likely to go off tomorrow?
James Cook. I was going to say James. I'm always going to say James Cook because with the ball in his hands, it gives you a chance. He gives this team a chance to do big things. And with the ball being in his hands during, these last 4 games, the Bills have been dominant. The Bills have, been in the game no matter what. When you look at that last drive against, the Chargers, how instrumental was he, in that one. So, just getting the ball in his hands more and getting comfortable with that and, trusting that, getting better with the run game. I'm not thinking that, expecting them just to go crazy each week in the run game. This is something that's new to them. So that's something they have to get accustomed to, but they need to just stay at it. Don't abandon it at times. Every drive, you should have some sort of new wrinkle in your run game. Shouldn't just be the same damn play all the time, all right? If it is, hopefully it's a setup something. But, okay. Cook is an obvious X factor. Diggs. Diggs, your offensive coordinator. You have to figure out how do I get my main dogs the ball? Period. You know, my main receiver, I gotta feed him. My main running back, I gotta feed him. My quarterback, he's a dual threat. That's 1, 2, 3. Those are my three right there. Those are my three dogs that I have to get going in order for, this offense to win. Other than that, you got Kincaid, you got Gabe, y'all feeding off of that. Shakur, you feeding off of that. But I gotta get my main dogs. My main dogs, Cook, Diggs, Josh, I gotta get them going. Because this is where me, that's what I'm basing my offense around, those three guys. My offense will be based around those three guys, and everybody else feeds off of that, for now. And then everybody, it depends, it's like Oprah Winfrey show, Dalton, you have a day. Gabe, you have a day. Shakur, you have a day. But my main three dogs got to eat every week in order for this offense to consistently put up points and put yourself in position to win every week. So we haven't seen that. Give me a game where Josh has 300, Steph has over 100 yards, 5-6 catches, and Cook has over 100 yards. That breakout game is near somewhere. We want to see it against New England because, the record says it should be that way. Records do. But, again, you got this mastermind guy over there on the other side in Bill Belichick that is going to find something that nobody recognizes and, just expose it for what it is. And then next you know, it could be a dark fight. But if the Bills go out there and be Big Bad Bully and the regular season home finale, take care of business, get their lick back, then, yeah, it should be a wrap.
Yeah, you look at it, and Stephon Diggs, I'm taking him toe-to-toe with a Jamar Chase, a Justin Jefferson, a Tyreek Hill. I like Diggs head-to-head with any of those guys or anybody in the league as far as the wide receiver position is concerned. And yet, it seems like we're the anomaly, right, in the league in terms of having a star wide receiver. We're the offense is just so extremely inconsistent. It just is it's never the same thing week to week. Like there's not really an identity, right? You kind of don't know what to expect every week, which I'm not saying is necessarily a bad thing through and through, but it does, kind of is a cause for pause because it's like, well, how will they win the game this week if they, you know what I mean? So, but there needs to be something that happens where your number one wide receiver, he needs to be able to be a difference maker. And he doesn't need to just be a difference maker because he's getting doubled and other people are getting open. Like you still need to get him the ball, get him going. Because when Diggs make plays, it's more than just stats on the stat sheet, right? That's energy. Not only on the sideline, not only in a huddle, but in the stadium. Like this is a superstar. You know what I mean? There's a reason why when he catches the ball, the stadium goes wild. There's a reason why when it's 17-14, that's the most favorite touchdown that Bills fans love to see. And that's not like a slight against anybody else, but they're superstars. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So we need to figure out a way to get him involved, especially just because that energy is infectious. And once you get Stephon Diggs going, that creates a flow to where other guys get that confidence and they start going. It's kind of like the inverse of what you see in Kansas City, where one dude started dropping the ball and everybody just started dropping the ball. When Stephon Diggs gets it going, when he catches the ball, he makes 3 or 4 people look stupid on any given play and then dives down before he can, take a big hit, right? That then leads to, Dalton Kincaid, being more breaking tackles and, you know what I mean? Dawson Knox or whatever the case may be, James Cook having more freedom because there's less people in the box because they got a shield. I'm sorry. What's the word I'm looking for? You can shade over to Stephon Diggs, right? So it's just like, those are the guys you got to get going, especially. And James Cook has become one of those guys. James Cook might be a superstar next year. He very well might be a superstar next year. I won't say this year only because we're just starting to see it. But if he has a good playoff run, it's undoubted that he's a superstar next year, especially being top 5, top 3 in terms of yardage at the running back position. with the likes of Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, and all these great running backs in the league, and you, James Cook, in your second or third year, are top 3, and then not only that, but you get the media darling status because you're the brother of a future Hall of Famer. So you could very well be a superstar. And, you got to be able to get these guys the ball consistently. So I want to ask you, Coach, you being in the locker room talking to all these guys, right? After the Broncos lost, 5-5 or 6-6? It was 500 or something. But either way, 6-6. Okay, you go from 6-6 to now 9-6, right? I think it was 5-5 because they was 4-1,
3-1.
3-1. Okay.
3-1 in the past 4 games, a 3-game winning streak.
Okay, so you look at the difference between the locker room losing to the Denver Broncos, being at 500.
They were 6-5, and then they lost. And they were 6-6, and then they won 3 straight.
Yeah, so having 5 teams ahead of you in just a wild card race alone, we're not even talking seeding. You're the 11th seed, right? And you go from there to sitting comfortably in the 6th seed, right? If you win this week, you basically clinch, technically. I mean, there's some other stuff that has to happen, but you likely clinch. You're already sitting at a 92% playoff chance, right?
Mm.
What is the difference in the locker room, between those two entities of the team, right? The team that's like, are we even going to make the playoffs this year? To this team that's beaten 2 of the top teams in the league and hung with another one, right? And who has a potential to go and play for a division championship next week.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, this Bills team understands, who they are and what they are. They know that they are a Super Bowl caliber team.
No, but was there a difference in the locker room, just the energy in the locker room between the two?
As far as when it was 6-5 to now?
Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it was more. They're playing with more urgency. They know, okay. In the midterm of it, yeah, they understand. Yeah, it's still the next game, but now it's it's a must-win game. They went from it's the most important game because it's the next thing type of mentality to this is it's a must-win for us, and they're playing to advance. So it's a 5-game tournament, and right now they're playing to advance. Each week they win, they advance. So. That's why the percentages is at 92%. But, as long as they don't read 100, the Bills still have ways to go. So they won't be upset if they not win a division. They understand if they do fall short of the division but still make the playoffs, they know why. Mm-hmm. They know the answer to that. So, they have some closure on that. So they. Most important thing, they just want to be in the playoffs. They don't care, they if they got to go on the road, if they got to do it at home, they don't care. This team is battle tested on the road. This team is battle tested, at home. So they have the toughest schedule in the NFL. When you really look at how it came to be in the beginning, the Bills had the toughest schedule in the NFL. So the schedule alone is going to get these guys prepared for postseason. And again, the way they went out and got better towards the end of the season, going toe-to-toe with Philly, toe-to-toe with Kansas City, toe-to-toe with Dallas, toe-to-toe with Miami, so these are the teams.
Playoff run right there.
Toe-to-toe with Cincinnati. These are the teams that you're going to see in the playoffs anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, they just want to get in. They understand what they have to do to get there. They're controlling their own destiny. They win in their end. Of course, they would love to get some help with Baltimore tomorrow because that's just going to really up the ante up, and the juices is going to be sky high to know that after everything that we've gone through as a team this year, we are 1 win away from being a division champion for the 4th straight year and potentially be a number 2 seed in this whole thing here. So. Make no mistake about it. If they went out and, football guys bless them with Miami taking the L. If the football guys bless the Bills with them winning out and Miami losing out, Bills are 2nd seed, division champs, and Josh Allen is your MVP.
A word. Absolutely. I gotta say, even as like a Bills fan, I just want to see him get in playoffs. I mean, a division would be nice, right? Hosting a playoff game would be absolutely nice, and being a 2 seed, and if Baltimore was to potentially get knocked off, right? And then you get the opportunity to host throughout the playoffs would be nice, but I don't need it. I don't need it, right? I feel like I just need them to get in. Because if we get in, I really don't care where we have to play our games at. I think we smacking anybody. So just get in, boys. Just get in the playoffs.
And they'll be relatively healthy going in too. I mean,
right.
you're gonna miss Trey, you're gonna miss Matt, but you got DQ back, Epineza is back, Hyde is back, and then guys gotten better. So that's a good thing. And they're gelling at the right time, and there's still room for improvement. So that's the scary thing about it all. When is the improvements going to kick in? Finally. So hopefully, tomorrow Highmark could be rocking. The offense will be in sync. Clicking on all cylinders, and they're going to look pretty damn dangerous going into Miami. Confidence sky high, because this is a team that you're already taking to the woodshed. You just got to go ahead and do it again in Miami.
Yeah, absolutely. So all you gotta do is win out, man. It's not like Miami's playing some slumps tomorrow, right? They're playing the best team in the league, as far as the narrative is concerned. So, the likelihood that they lose is pretty good, right?
Well, this is for the 1 seed right here.
Exactly. So
this is for something tomorrow. So if Baltimore wins, they just lock up the number 1 seed.
Right.
I'm quite sure they would rather lock that up this week, so they can know what to do next.
Hope that the Bills, who's playing for nothing technically, if Miami wins this week, you have to hope that the Bills beat the Dolphins next week. Oh no, I think you will still lose the tiebreaker.
No. Miami, if Baltimore wins, they lock up 1 seed.
No. Right. But I'm saying if Baltimore loses.
Right now. And Miami's a 2 seed right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is for number 1 seed. If Miami beats Baltimore and loses to the Bills, Baltimore still can steal the 1 seed if they.
So that's what I was asking.
Right, if they win. So that's what's got to happen. Baltimore, go ahead, you're at home. Take care of business at home. Go ahead and take care of Miami at home. Lock number 1 seed down, because we can't get it anyway.
Okay, yeah, I'd rather y'all.
Bills can't get it anyway. Yeah. So go ahead and lock number 1 down for yourself, and do that favor for the Bills, and we'll be playing for the division. Next week in Miami, and when the Bills do that, they will be a number 2 seed. So they're going to get. A home game, a home playoff game, and then who knows? Anything can happen. Baltimore can lose at home, so going to the Super Bowl can come to Buffalo.
Depending on who they play, I think it's a pretty good chance Baltimore loses in the divisional round at home. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll see. We'll talk about that later. You mentioned, right, you're getting some people back. You're going to be relatively healthy going into the playoffs, and my man Jared from 24/7 Buffalo Fandemonium. Shout out to those guys over there. Another podcast on the Buffalo Fan Base Network. He mentioned, he says, hey fellas, how y'all feeling about tomorrow? Will Daquan Jones make an immediate impact? So Daquan Jones is coming back for the first time. He's playing like an all-pro. At the beginning of this season, before he had another devastating injury along with Matt Milano, I believe in the same game, you had 2 all-pros go down, and missing them for weeks at a time. So him coming back tomorrow, is that going to be like a immediate impact for the Buffalo Bills, or are they just going to bring him back along slowly? What's the plan there?
Well, I'm quite sure he's going to be on the snap count. I mean, it's not going to be like you just throw him in there. I mean, Poona Ford played quite well last week, but I'm still not sure if he's going to get any reps, just because he's low man on the totem pole. Jordan Phillips is on IR, so it makes sense to bring Daquan in. And the thing about that with New England, they're a running team, so we should see more run stoppers out there. But I think that, it's good to have him out there. I don't think that he'll get crazy snaps. I could be wrong, but the Bills are just showing you that they have quality depth pieces. You know what I mean? They have quality depth. So you got Linval Joseph still out there. You got Tim Settle, Ed Oliver. Those guys are playing quite well in that rotation. So you throw DQ in there, you know, we already know what type of season that he was having before he got injured. So if he could pick up where he left off, I'm not expecting, too many snaps from him. That's a guy that the Bills definitely are trying to preserve for postseason. But it's good to get him going these next couple of games.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. What I need to see from the Bills tomorrow, I need to see them score on their first 3 drives and at least 1 touchdown, right? So whether that's
2 or 3 touchdowns.
It would be nice. It would be nice, but I'm saying
England don't score
whether
points. So if you got to just
that's
score
my point, though. That's my point. Whether it's 13, 17, 21, if we could score points, start fast, make Bailey Zappi have to throw the football, right? To get back into the game. And then your offense is obviously playing well if they're scoring points in the first 3 drives. I feel like that changes the entire mindset of the football game for both your quarterback and play caller, because you're playing from behind. You have to get points. You have to play the way the Buffalo Bills want you to play. And so that's what I would like to see from the Buffalo Bills. I need at least 1 touchdown. At least 1 touchdown. I would love more, prefer more. At least 1. And let's score on our first 3 drives. And I feel like if that happens, I mean, I don't want to say that the game is over, but I feel like we got a pretty good chance at making it happen. Just because the Bills can be so. Sometimes we're just like, I don't want this one to go to the wire, just because you never know.
Well, I mean, if they jump out on them, let's just say they jump out on. Let's just say it's 17-3.
Mm-hmm.
If the Bills are passing the ball, I'm gonna be mad as shit. All right, you should be running the ball with James Cook, killing the clock, controlling the game, pass when you need to. Really, they gotta mature in those areas of the game of knowing how to control the game offensively. We get it. We got Josh that can throw or he can make any throw. We get that. But when it's time for him to do it, you're up 2 possessions. Run the ball, kill clock, control the game, use play action, keep the sticks going. Stuff like that. I want to see this offense mature in that way. We should have been seeing that happen by now, So
we've seen a bit of that in the Kansas City game. We've also seen a bit of that last week in the LA game, being able to run the football down, run the clock down, by running the football and scoring points with minimal time on the clock. Now, obviously, it didn't work out super duper well in the Chiefs game as much as we would have liked because of an incomplete pass. And then coupled by another incomplete pass. So you give them like ample time, but our defense was able to get it done, thankfully. But the Chargers, I feel like they executed it a little bit better, leaving, I believe there's no time left on the clock, if I'm not mistaken, and getting a W. Oh no, it was like 20 seconds or something.
They left some time on the clock.
Yeah, it was little though.
Big sack, and that was pretty much the ball game.
Yeah, because they did that lateral crap that scared the crap out of me too. When I saw that wall, boy, it brought back some painful memories. But yeah, all right, Coach. Every week, this is your James Cook Invitational, right? Who is your X factor for this game and why?
Stephon Diggs is the X.
Oh, you are.
Because if he has a game, then yeah, the Bills will cover the spread. If James Cook has a game, then yeah, the Bills will cover the spread. So I'm hoping that the Bills can get him involved. I just don't leave him on the outside so he can get doubled and bracketed. Be a little bit more creative. Put him in a slot where he can have more one-on-one wins. Excuse me. Even when he's flaked to the outside, take your shot one-on-one. Try to isolate him or recognize when he's one-on-one on the outside and take a stab at it. Like, go to your go-to guy. Go to your go-to guy. You got to go to your money guys. It's money time. Yeah. You got to go with your money guys. So you got to, whether you scheme to get them open, you got to go to your money guys. Get them guys involved. If you don't get them guys involved, then, the other team is going to get confidence. Get them involved. All right, and you'll see how things work. You'll see them play at their highest potential because you're getting them involved. So yeah, that's my X factor right there. I mean, Cook is always going to be my X factor, but I want Stephon Diggs to have a day. He's due for it. He's due for it, especially in the Brady era.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Stephon Diggs is actually not yet had a Stephon Diggs game under the Brady era, so that would be nice to kind of just get that off your back a little bit and scheme Stephon Diggs open and get him have a nice little game there for the Buffalo Bills, and to send Bill Belichick on his way out of New England with a nice little gift. Here's 52-13 or something crazy, like, you know what I mean? Just kind of give him a little bit of pow for the 20 years that he gave it to us, right? So that would be nice, right? So Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriots tomorrow. We got to get this. We'll see what happens. Coach, send us off.
Yeah, I'm guessing that Leonard Fournette don't play tomorrow. You know what I mean? You'll see Ty Johnson back in action. But Bills still get it done on the ground. Stephon Diggs get going. The Bills is on the heels of the division. Do you believe?
Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Now, find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. Bet Online continues to be the top online resource for all sports information, from live in-game betting props and futures. Head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now, use our promo code BLEAV50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now, Bet Online is where the game starts.